What a sick fuck.
The hardest 3 thrusts. Dude, I'm ripping my balls off.
Come to my house telling me to shut the fuck up and then telling me to reel it back in. Welcome to the worst podcast in the world, the Agro Labs podcast. My name is Cameron, and right before we start this podcast, I want to let everyone, all the listeners know. Oh God, that was so funny. I let all the listeners know to go ahead and go on Redbubble, find some merch. We got terrible hoodies. You probably won't wear them out in public, but it'll probably hang up in your closet. But still, it doesn't matter. We do have hoodies and shirts you can buy. And real quick, a quick shout out to the sponsors. Are you full of shit? Can you not remember what you said 1 sentence ago? Now selling Joe Biden's adult baby diapers. Stop crying about shitty situations and deal with it yourself like a real man. And then, you feeling sick? Is it not the flu? Did you already have COVID? Maybe, just maybe, you need rehab. I do not endorse any treatment facilities, and results may vary depending on person. So, go to rehab now if you need rehab. Maybe you're sick. Maybe you're withdrawing. I don't know, man. But go to rehab now. And real quick,
you're just a giant pussy.
We are, I've been trying something new on the AgroLabs podcast with social media, via social media. You can check us out on Twitter at the AgroLabscast, and you can check us out on Instagram at AgroLabs. However, these are our social media shout-outs from TikTok. I got Schmidthead52. That's a great name, Schmidthead. He wants me to say, I don't care what everyone says. The skinny jeans I wear are sweet. They definitely are, man. I enjoy skinny jeans. They're nice and tight. They chafe. I can feel my balls itch when I walk in them. They're great. And I have Loretta _Flynn. A big shout-out to you, Loretta _Flynn. And also, I have a big shout-out to Kane's Hole, also known as Shane Cole. Shout out to Shane Cole. And real quick, that was our TikTok shout outs. I want to give a big shout out to Eric Trim. He wanted me to comment on this podcast. All dogs go to heaven and rats get pissed on. Very fitting, Eric. It sounds like it comes from you. Thank you. Also, I got one from Nick Elliott. I miss my Toledo recovery people, Keith, Cam, Juan, Eddie, and etc. Well, we miss you. I hope you're doing well in Columbus's asshole. I hope you're doing well in the asshole of Ohio, okay? Jewel Laura. She wants you guys to follow her on Instagram at Jewel. There's 2 E's and 3 L's in the word Jewel. Jueell. I think that's fucking overkill. You don't need that many L's. You got a speech impediment? There's nothing wrong with it. But do you got one? Anyways, got one from the Murfinator. And this is pretty profound, I must say. The struggle is mandatory. Growth is optional. You should have a motivational YouTube channel, Jake Murphy.
Yeah, write a book, bud.
You need to write a book. And with no further ado, I have a really special guest. We've been talking about having him on for a while, and I've been talking to him, and I'm so excited to have him on here. I had COVID and was out with COVID when we first scheduled it, so that didn't work out. But with no further ado, welcome, Cody Palmer.
Hi, buddy. How are you?
I'm doing so well, man. It's such a pleasure to be here with you, especially because like you were there at like the start of my journey, and we've kept in touch, since then. Yeah,
man. We got sober around the same time, right? You were over at EFE when I was just starting at Memphis. Oh, sorry. Are we name dropping treatment centers right now?
We can. I don't care. Okay. I don't care. We can name drop them all, dude. No. Glen Bay's the best.
Nah, fuck them all. Yeah, I remember you had that old Buick you were rolling around. You limping around the city.
Dude, all of those dents I had in it, I'd hitting a car. I hit inanimate objects. Like objects that didn't move.
Oh, God.
It was like fire hydrants and parking rails.
Yeah, buddy. I just remember you had that Buick and I had that old rusted out Durango. Yeah, man. That was just we always sat out there in front of the Hope Spot over there on Byrne.
What do you remember your mindset being back then?
Dude, Eric and I were just talking about this the other day. Like, if we could go back to those days where our only focus was just going to meetings, and essentially where our next few dollars were going to come to afford cigarettes and gas to get to those meetings. You know, that was just our mindset. Like, how we were going to get through the next 24 hours to stay sober. You know, like that was it. We were so focused on our friend group, staying sober, and going to meetings like that. You know, all the worries that we have today now, like how are we going to pay our bills? You know, going to work every day, like all the responsibilities we have now, like what we would give to go back to, I guess, that simpler mindset. You know, like our focus was just all around recovery then, and we didn't really care. Like we knew back then I had debt, you know, up to my eyeballs, but I wasn't focused on that. You know, my heart was just, I got to stay sober right now, you know, and that's, I really would love to go back to those days.
It was like a freeing experience, right? It was like a really freeing experience, like where you had all that weight on your shoulders, but like really you had one thing to just focus on, which is like, bro, how many people get the opportunity to just focus on themselves for like, you know, 6 months?
Yeah. I mean, it was a freeing experience, you know, and with the right, you know, drive and motivation, that's all we had. You know, it was, like you said, it was freeing. That's all we had to focus on.
Yeah, I remember some of my happiest moments was when I was living in that studio apartment, and it was like there was like 2 beds. There was like we had 2 full beds. I think he had a queen and a full bed in a rundown studio apartment, and someone was sleeping on the couch, and things were just strewn everywhere. People would come over, and like those were some of the best times I've had in my life. And cause like when you're using and shit, like just a feather dropping or a pin falling is like the end of the world. You know what I mean? And experience in life, you're like, oh, that kind of stuff really doesn't matter anymore. Like I can be sober and focus on some of the fucking goals I have.
Yeah, man. I'm going to bring up an embarrassing story. You remember when you got pulled over with Jake Murphy in the Buick?
Oh my God, dude, I was freaking out, dude.
Oh God. Rolling no license. Getting pulled over in Maumee. I remember you calling me, and Jake's like straight panicking. Because you guys were, I think you were going to drop Jake off.
This fucking motherfucker, dude. I kept telling him, no, I'm not taking you home from this meeting. Because it was like Saturday night, and he wanted to take home the trail. And I'm like, I'm not taking you home because it's Halloween, and there's going to be fucking checkpoints on Anthony Wayne Trail. And he's like, no, there's not. You're making excuses. So, of course, I feel bad. And, like, you know, I'm his friend. So I'm like, okay, I'll give you a fucking ride, man. And we pass one light, and I'm like, that's a fucking DUI stop. And he's like, no, it's not. That's construction. I remember he said it's construction. I said, there's fucking 6 cops, and they're pulling cars to the side of the road, man. That's a DUI stop. I made the most grotto. I said, call Cody. I for sure thought I was getting arrested, and they were sending me over to CCNO for like the next 32 days because I had 32 days left on probation.
I just remember Eric and I being in halfway and getting that call, and we're just like, hey, we gotta stay out after curfew. We gotta go pick someone up. Just hauling all the way back to the other side of town. The cop's like, just get in the car and drive like 500 feet, and then he can take off. And I was like, sweet, we gotta go.
That's what he said?
Yeah.
I never knew that.
He was like, you can just drive the car off the property. It's in your name. I was like, all right, cool.
I recently just got pulled over in Ottawa Hills, which is like the worst place to be pulled over within Toledo city limits. And the guy was just, he was nice and everything, but like he was real young. And he was like, so you just left work? Where are you going to from there? And I was like, I'm not going to explain the rest of my day to you, sir. That's what I said to him.
You trying to contact trace me, officer?
Yeah, I got my license now, buddy. I don't got to answer your fucking questions. I don't got to be respectful. You giving me a ticket or what?
Yeah. Write the ticket. I'll appear in court.
I pay your fucking salary, bub. Dude, I owe the government taxes this year. This is the second year in a row I owe these motherfuckers taxes.
I feel that pain, man. I just got done paying off taxes for the last 3 years. I'm so afraid to file my taxes.
It's like, how much more can they just take from me? You know, and I'm poor. I'm a poor person.
They're like, you just want to move me from the middle class to the lower class. I see you. I see you, Uncle Sam. Okay.
100%, man. And I really just, at the end of the day, you know, I don't know how much more that, like, people like me can just really take with people just, I mean, Uncle Sam just sucking every last penny out of me, dude. I was on Amazon the other night, and Amazon has sales tax now. I don't remember Amazon ever having sales tax.
What? That's crazy.
Yeah, I bought something on Amazon last night. Shout out to my new wife. I got her a pregnancy pillow, and I got her out this pregnancy pillow, and it was like $6.58 in sales tax.
Wow.
Which I've never seen on Amazon, so it was like new for me. I was like, what the fuck? There's sales tax on this now? Because like I always thought, you know.
I live on Amazon. I'm about to go check.
Yeah, no, it was wild.
Smoking me then.
For sure.
I just ordered some back scratchers on Amazon the other day.
Dude, we got it so easy nowadays. You don't even got to leave your house to buy anything. People are cash apping and Venmoing their drug dealers, dude. They don't need cash from the ATM.
Dude, I just recently found out you can sell your gift cards at an ATM.
Oh, you didn't know that?
No.
I knew that one. That's a good trick. Yeah.
I got sober way too soon. Are you kidding me? My family still, over 4 years sober now, still give me gift cards at Christmas.
No.
They're like, they're waiting for the other shoe to drop. I'm like, okay, you understand I am, well, after today, not employed anymore, but fully employed, and I have my own money. But they're like, no, we're still going to give you that gift card to Speedway. And I'm like, what?
Yeah.
I can only get 75 cents on the dollar if I go back out. And then I look up, there's like eco ATMs to go cash these in at Kroger.
Yep. Eco ATMs. The move back in the day too was the little place on Sylvania and Zecor. They give you half off they give you half for all gift cards.
Craziness. Like, no wonder kids these days aren't getting sober.
Well, you know, it's we were talking about this on the last podcast. We were talking about this on the last podcast with Corey and Jake, and I just don't see the amount of like mass-produced narcotics that no one knows what's inside of it is going to stop.
Oh, for sure not.
Like I don't see that coming to like a quick, abrupt end. You know what I mean? Like treatment centers are a great help. It's been destigmatized, but it's like these manufactured drugs now are like really what's killing people.
Mm-hmm. Shit, you can order that stuff and have it right to your front door.
Bring that mic up too. You can slide that mic. I'm sorry. I'm just.
No, you're good.
You can lift it up, slide it up, and then lift it up. Mm-hmm. I want the people to be able to hear you.
There we go. Much better.
I want my mom to be able to hear you, dude. She's like my only listener.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Shout out Scott Kuzno. He said, "Go fuck yourself, Eric."
Shout out to Scott Kuzno. He's built like Mario. One time I was delivering pizza to Scott Kuzno's house. I was recently working at...
You experienced that?
Yeah. I was working at Vito's, and I seen his name pop up. I went to Eric. I said, Eric, call Scott. Ask him if he's ordering a pizza. He put me on three-way with Scott. Scott's like, what the fuck are you talking about?
Listen, kid, I did black tar heroin.
Dude, so yeah, man. Yeah, well, that's really how they were back in the day, too, man. Like, Scott comes from a different generation, dude, in recovery, dude.
So wild. I don't know, man. When I started doing heroin, it started to switch from the tan to the white.
Uh-huh.
So, I don't know. I can't imagine doing that shit.
So, for those of you guys who are listening and don't know Cody, I knew Cody before recovery, but I just didn't know it was Cody.
Here we go.
Yeah, I mean, so
I gotta light this cherry cigar when we get into this.
So, when I met Cody, like I said, I didn't know it was Cody. And you guys ever see like those, before and after pictures on social media of people on drugs? It was just like that. Like, I never knew that Cody was the same person that I met years prior to ever getting sober. So I ended up in these apartments and just getting high on Molly. And I don't know why I did it. I really want to say it was because of probably all the rap music I was listening to. Like
none of us knew why we did it.
Yeah, like there wasn't a reason I was doing Molly. Like there wasn't like an experience. I wasn't going to raves. I wasn't going to like electronic dance music. I was sitting in apartments, just
That's all we did. We all sat in this one bedroom. Well, it was a 2-bedroom apartment. And just sweated for hours and snorted lines of this crappy Molly that we fucking ordered off the Silk Road. And we all just listened to shitty rap music. We were like, yeah, this is the greatest times of our lives. We're going to be richer than ever. And we were all broke at the end of the night.
How many business ideas in 8 hours did you guys have?
Dude, enough to just grind my teeth down to the gums. Like, I have so many false teeth in my mouth because of those years.
Yeah, no. So I feel you. By the way, I shortly thereafter stopped being friends with one of my good friends because he got the shit beat out of him at one of those parties. The dog shit beat out of him. I mean, they beat the brakes off of this boy, and I was like, I cannot be associated with this anymore.
Were you ever there for the boxing nights?
No.
Oh, yeah. So that was a whole nother... We had different themed nights because that was also a genius plan when I was 17, 18 years old, was to have boxing nights while on Molly.
You were a young Jake Paul.
No, please don't ever compare me to Jake Paul. Please don't do that. No. Oh, God. Yeah, those were not my proudest years, man. It was... I was honestly one of those kids, like, and I hate fucking talking about this, but I was one of those kids. I was that kid in rehab where it was... I always went to rehab because I was the pill kid. I was always like, I was into pain pills. I was into the Roxy 30s, the Percocets, all of that. But I was that kid in rehab where it was like, oh, you just did a shot of heroin? Well, every time I do it, I do 3 shots of heroin. Like I was always trying to one up everyone, which whatever. I grew out of that phase very quickly. But when we had that apartment, we were doing all the Molly and all of that stuff and ordering it and whatever. We won't go down that road of I hate glamorizing drugs
for sure.
But we did that because we were like, cool, we're gonna make all this money and we're gonna have a good time with our friends. And we saw it as like this, in a way, like feed our addiction and have it for free, But we didn't really see the toll it was taking on all of our friends because we were young and dumb. Those were 2012 through 2015. It was a 3-year run of doing that. And it ruined a lot of our friends. I mean, I still have friends serving time for continuing on doing that after I got sober.
Yeah.
But yeah, those, I'm definitely glad I experienced that time because, it taught me a lot, but it was like, holy shit. There's a lot of people that I still run into today and they talk about it and I was like, oh shit, yeah, that was part of my life. That was me, And it's crazy when you and I met, you were like, yeah, I used to party at these apartments. And I was like, do I tell them that was me? Like, and then finally one day, like after you and I got cool with each other, I had to tell you like, yeah, man, we definitely ran into each other.
Yeah. And it's okay, man. And like, here's the truth. Okay, so I went to shout out to the Black Sheep Barber Co. I went to get my haircut today, and I was getting my haircut, and some guy walks in, and he looks a little familiar, but like, where we work at, and like the things that we've done, like everyone kind of looks familiar. You know what I mean? So I'm like not trying to make eye contact with him, and then like he makes eye contact with me, and he goes, Cameron? And I'm like, oh, fuck. I'm like, what is this?
Stuck in conversation.
I'm like, what is... I'm like, hi, what's up, man? And he's like, dude, I used to know you like almost 10 years ago. And I was like, oof. I was like,
We're going
great.
back.
What did I do? You know what I mean? Like, what?
So I owe you money. Do I got to go to the ATM?
Yeah, right. So it was like, but it was a good conversation. So he was like, yeah, I mean, he was kind of a part of that crowd, right? And he was like, yeah, man, I'm like, and I was just, he said, yeah, some good times. And I was like, yeah, there were times. And he kind of was just like, yeah, they were kind of bad times. And I'm like, yup. And so the conversation goes forward and he's like, yeah, I'm sober now.
Oh, sweet.
And I was like, what the fuck? I'm like, me too, man. That's cool, dude. And so we literally had this same conversation at a barbershop today because he was like, yeah, dude, people that we were hanging out with are still messed up and they're still...
Sober or California sober?
I think I don't know. I don't know the guy too well. I wouldn't know. I don't want to judge, you know what I mean? He could be Katy Perry sober. Or, but so, that's... I don't think that, like, when we were doing that kind of stuff that we even knew what we were actually doing to ourselves until it was too late. You know what I mean? Like until you cross the line, like, oh, fuck, there's not really much going back from this line that we had already crossed. Because, like,
we were invincible.
Yeah, I didn't think what I was doing, per se, at that age, 18, 19, 20, was that bad. Yeah. When I realized it was bad, it was just like, oh, yeah, it's pretty bad. I gotta do worse shit now. Like there wasn't like a stop button to where I was at, and I honestly don't even know why I started. Like, I know why I started smoking weed. I know why I started drinking, but, like, I don't know why I decided, like, doing Molly and doing heroin and doing cocaine and all these other drugs was a good idea to me.
No, I honestly have no clue what led me down that path on the Silk Road to order that. I literally I've sat there. I've gone through so many individual therapy sessions to literally try to analyze that, and I've overanalyzed all of that. And I cannot figure out to this day what led me into that, like, group of friends to do all of that, besides once I was there, why I continued to do it.
Yeah.
It was literally just like, this was the fun, cool thing to do, and I thought I was invincible. But what started it? No clue. It was just like, clicked up.
Yep.
That was it.
Yeah,
Just
man.
like, And then after that, it was like, well, cool, let's try something else. Let's try the next thing.
Yeah, because once you start, like, for me at least, right, like, and I'm not glamorizing it, but like the first time I smoked weed, right, I'm like, man, this is what everyone's worried about. You know what I mean?
This is what they warned us about.
This is
sweet.
They thought I was gonna do heroin because of marijuana, and then eventually I did. So joke's on me, right? But, like, there was a sense of, like, what else are they lying to me about? Mm-hmm. Is sex really that bad?
Yeah. Damn.
Can I drink 2 liters of Mountain Dew?
Can I eat this whole bag of Warheads in one sitting?
Yeah. And so, like, for me, like, it was just like I'm just trying this to... I was, like, really nihilistic too, man. I didn't see a purpose in life, and, like, I would use the same excuse you did, right? Like, I'm gonna sell drugs. Mm-hmm. I'm gonna sell these drugs, and I'm gonna make a lot of money, and my life's gonna be grand. Yep. I really wanted to live this grandiose life, and I was just like 19 couch surfing.
Yeah, exactly. Like, I'm just skating by. Like, I paid rent 3 days late. The flat screen in my living room's actually cracked and a piece of shit. Like, you're like, yeah, babe, you got this girlfriend, and you're like, look at all this money I made, but you're really just eating McDonald's again for the 5th night this week. Like,
you're like, you want 2 McDoubles?
Yeah. We'll get it with mac sauce this time. It'll be so much better than yesterday.
I have 35 cents extra just for some mac sauce. Yeah. No, it was, so, yeah, like, most of my friends that I met in, like, elementary school and middle school, I lived, like, a double life. So, like, the friends I had met in, like, elementary school and middle school, mostly elementary school, were, like, really good kids. Like, my mom would be like, why can't you be more like them?
Same. My mom did the exact same thing to me.
And I would lose my mind. It would like drive me closer to being like, yeah, fuck that. Like I don't want to be like them, but I mean, they're probably, living really good lives now.
Yeah. Married, have a doctorate.
Yeah, oh yeah, dude.
Little golden doodle out in the suburbs.
They own a tech company in Seattle. I don't know, dude. They're doing something better. But And then I like got to middle school. I started hanging out with kids who like smoke weed, and I participated in it. And then all my old friends were like, kind of like closed the door on our relationships. We're like, we're not going to hang out with you because you're going to be a burnout. And they were right.
Yeah, you're like, I'll show you.
I was like, well, yeah, I was a young bloomer. Okay.
Yeah,
I bloomed young. like I'm 28 now and I'm an old man, okay? Yeah. I'm an old man, and like a lot of people in their 28 now are like now they're living like the fun part of their life. Like, dude, going to the distillery doesn't sound fun.
Fuck no.
It doesn't sound fun to me, dude.
I like to go home, I sit on my couch, and I turn on Netflix by like 7 o'clock. I have my routine. Sometimes I get off work, I run through the car wash, I grab some food, and I'm home, dude. I'm not going back out. Unless it's an emergency, I'm not doing nothing. I'm 27, and I'm not... Man, I went to a concert last Friday night, and they were like, let's go to the casino after. And I'm like, all right, 12:30 curfew then. You know what I mean? Like, nothing good happens after midnight. I'll push it to 12:30 just because we're hanging out. But, like, I'm exhausted.
What concert did you guys go to?
Cody Johnson concert. There were so many cowboy hats in that building. I kid you, dude, I was the outcast. Okay, I was the minority in the Huntington Center.
Here's the truth, though. You're probably more cowboy than them fucking howdy-doody motherfuckers.
Yeah.
You can hook up a trailer hitch, dude.
Yeah, I mean, I can do manly things. I mean, the most cowboy I went was, I had a Carhartt shirt on and some boots. But every cowboy in there wanted to square up with me.
Yeah, because you're wearing Carhartt.
Yeah,
they were all like, cutting their tags off.
Yeah,
and shit.
Yeah. They were like, "Look, man, you support the vaccine. We're not about it."
They're all doing the hokey pokey on your forehead.
Yeah, right. About to stop me out outside because I wasn't drinking with them.
They're screaming, "Let's go, Brandon!"
They were.
No, they
yes,
weren't.
They were. They were screaming, "Let's go, Brandon!" and USA. It was so good. I wanted to make a TikTok, but I couldn't.
Listen, there's two places where "Let's go, Brandon" is being said: country music concerts and NASCAR.
Trump rally.
It's yeah, man, that's cool. So like, it's important to do stuff like that, especially in recovery though too, because like, man, like people don't really realize how much fun you can have not fucked up. Like, I don't need to be fucked up to go to a Cody Johnson concert. I don't need to be inebriated to do those kind of things and enjoy myself.
Oh yeah, man, I have more fun going to like the casino sober, I've gone to the bar a few times with friends and played pool, done those things, and I have more fun being the sober one of the group than all of them who get trashed and the next day wake up and they're like, oh, I feel like crap, when I first got sober, I'd say about a year in, I was always telling them, like, I would make Facebook posts like, I'll be the DD tonight, let me know. And I had people hitting me up, and I was making cash on the side doing that for everybody. But I had a great time,
Yeah.
Just because everyone's like, oh, we love you. Here, we'll buy you Taco Bell. We'll fill up your gas tank. And I was like, this is a little side hustle.
Dude, you were the Uber Eats before Uber Eats.
Yeah.
We were just talking about how easy the kids got it because they can just order alcohol through Uber Eats nowadays. Like that. We were out here catching DUIs for that kind of
I was standing outside the liquor store begging people to buy me stuff.
Yeah, dude. It's
making fake IDs and begging people, you know what I mean? Getting my fake ID confiscated every weekend at BG. Dude, I used to make them.
Well,
get them confiscated all the time. Oh, man.
So how would you make a fake ID? Like is there like a process? Is it like you need a stamp for like the special foil or like all that bullshit? Like,
okay, so there is a kit you can order. I think if you go on eBay right now, it's the most generic kit you can ever buy, but you can buy the kit to make a fake ID.
We are such children of the internet, man.
Yeah, it's so bad. But so back in the day when the Silk Road, rest in peace Silk Road, you could buy all the materials and it would come with like software with all 50 states.
That's wild.
And it would download like the layers to Photoshop. And I'm very much a techie guy. So I got I paid like half a Bitcoin back then when Bitcoin was super
which was cheap. It was cheap.
Which I kicked myself in the ass for not saving all my Bitcoins I spent back then. And I got all the states in Photoshop, this was like back in 2013. And then I went on eBay and I bought just blank plastic cards. And then it came with like this generic ass hologram seal that you stuck on there. So I printed off on just regular like 8x11 paper, stick it on there, and then you stick the hologram seal on the front, and that was it. And you'd stick it inside, like my wallet's got, the clear front, and you would just hide it in there, and then you just go up and you like show the, bouncer. And he'd look at it, he'd know it was fake as all hell, but, like
But
if you went to Chasers all the time, or if you went down to BG at all those bars, like, they got used to knowing you.
Dude, you'll get AIDS from just stepping inside of the doorway of Chasers, dude.
Yeah, dude. You know what really shames me these days is my time hop. It'll pull statuses from, like, 2012. And I'm just like, who was I as a person?
Dude, sometimes I'll go back and I'll look at that shit and I'll see what I said. I'm like, I'm going to delete that.
Yeah, I'm like, I need to go back.
Yeah, dude.
The future employer will find this and just be like, we're not hiring you because in 2012, you said DUI checkpoint out front of Chasers. Beware, friends.
It's like a coming of age moment for people who live in the Toledo area to go to Chasers. It's like, we've arrived! Yeah. We're there! Yeah. Chasers is not a good place. No shout out to Chasers. It is terrible.
Or like a 3 a.m. tweet, like, what's the move? And you're like, seriously? That's what you were thinking in 2014? Okay.
It's some guy it's a picture of some guy in a fitted cap and a black t-shirt in Chasers Lounge. So, what was your name? What was your name on this ID?
Oh, what was my Twitter handle?
No, what was your name on the fake ID? I
used my real name.
Oh, you used
okay. Yeah, I didn't go that far.
I wasn't sure if you were like a Jack Dinglehort kind of guy.
No,
or like...
no, I used my real name. I thought you were going to ask me what my Twitter handle was.
No.
I'd be really ashamed to look that up.
You have a Twitter.
I do have a Twitter, and I just opened it, and I'm really not proud of it.
No. We're not gonna share your Twitter handle, dude. We gotta do all that.
Maybe I'll get some more followers since I haven't used it.
We can do that. Yeah, I remember back in the day, dude, like sitting at the Xbox on the 360, dude, for hours trying to think of a catchy username. And my one buddy really thought that he really like hit it off because he had made up the idea of his username being Jack Mehoff. It was Jack and then M-I and then Hoff, and I was just like, we thought it was so cool. And then for the next couple of years we were playing, I've seen so many Jack Mehoffs, and that's how I know we were all living the same reality in different places.
Can I painfully tell you what mine was?
Yeah, oh yeah, of course.
Mine was PPO Slayer 419, and I'm really just I don't play Xbox anymore. We'll just say that much.
Mine was Big Bird, but the bird was a U. Big Bird X69.
Nice.
Dude, I made that gamer tag when I didn't know how to 69.
Of course. You thought you were so hard playing Xbox with all your friends?
Yeah. Oh yeah, dude. It was a different time, man. I was a little. There was some like. To procure alcohol back in the day, you had to do some like serious groundwork. Like you said, you had to stand outside gas stations. You had to ask random people you didn't know for it.
Yeah, you had to like beg your friend's older brother to like buy yourself a case and him a case.
Yeah, and then he'd still drink yours or something.
He'll get you some Boone's Farm wine instead, and you're just like, cool, this sucks.
Yeah, man, there was a lot going into this, and like everything that we want is just at our fingertips, more so. Like, I ordered this pregnancy pillow, and I have Prime, and it was like, it'll be here Thursday. I'm like, that's tomorrow.
It's like, we're actually in your garage with it already.
Yeah.
I'm like, what?
They're like, that's tomorrow, and I'm just like, this is fucking insane, man.
Yeah. Did you see Amazon now has a pharmacy?
Sign me up, dude.
Yeah, you can get on there. You can order Xanax, Suboxone, anything you want.
No, you can't.
Yes, you can. You just have to have the script for it. And they'll deliver it right to your door.
Holy
shit. How many
shit.
Amazon trucks are about to get robbed?
Yeah, dude, what the
They get
fuck?
held up all over the city.
Well, because they're probably looking at it like, what don't we sell? You know what I mean? They're like, what do we not sell?
What's the next appeal?
Yeah, and that's all they're looking at. They're like, okay, let's sell some fucking, let's sell some antipsychotics.
Mm-hmm. Jeff Bezos taking over the world.
Yeah, I don't even.
Dad? Is that you, Dad? Are you out there? Dad, you owe my mom child support.
I'm your illegitimate son, Jeff Bezos.
I'll fake a DNA test real quick.
I don't even know what I would do with that kind of money. Like,
you never could spend that in a lifetime.
Yeah, I mean, maybe, but maybe, but like, it would overwhelm me.
Yeah.
The same way, like, paying bills on time overwhelms me. I would just sweat if I had that much money. I wouldn't know what to do with myself.
Wouldn't be able to sleep at night.
I would have to check my bank account every 5 minutes because it's still in there. It's still in there. Where are the stocks? Yes. I would be freaking out every second of every day about that money. What do you mean there's Chinese hackers? Yeah.
Wait, it's 10 cents off? What do you mean?
Dude, you will never see a rich man, a man who's, or woman, who is just abundantly rich like Jeff Bezos or Elon Musk or any one of those guys. You will never see them wear like $8,000 shoes. That motherfucker will walk in some goddamn Kenneth Cole dress shoes and a George Paul fucking polo T-shirt from Walmart.
He's wearing some Nike Monarchs, okay?
Yeah.
The dad grilling shoes with a flip phone.
He's had those fucking shoes since he started Amazon. And he's been stepping on motherfuckers' necks ever since, dude.
Yeah, buddy, been mowing lawns and grilling brats ever since.
So, like, before you ever got in the line of work that you got into when you were growing up, or maybe when you first got sober, what was your plan? Like, what did you want to start doing?
Oh man, so what I did for work before I ever got into the line of work I'm in now, I worked in the restaurant industry, various departments. I was either a line cook. I actually worked in food trucks. Which was what I was doing right before I actually went into treatment. Prior to me actually kind of going down a downward slope and using and getting into recovery, I actually went to school and I completed half a year before failing out, which is something I want to get back into school now. But I was actually going to school for veterinary medicine. Yeah, I wanted to be a veterinarian when I grew up. So something that I don't know if I'm as passionate about now, and something I want to do, but I definitely want to get into the medical field. I actually re-enrolled for the summer semester. That's when I'm going to start back. I want to get all my undergraduate stuff done. I got to start back with basic algebra. I got to do all those types of courses again because I'm going back to 2012, 2013 when I graduated high school, but I didn't do any of that for college, but I think my passion's kind of changed. I still want to work in the substance abuse field, but if I'm going to go the medical route, I think I'm going to do like psych nurse practitioner or something along that lines. I don't think I want to go all the way out and do like medical doctor.
Yeah,
we'll see where it takes me. I'm still young. I think being 27, I've got I could do quite a few years of school, but we'll see.
Well, that's the good thing, man. Is you live on them two sides of the coin, dude. And so, like, people sell themselves short so much, thinking like, I can't do this, I can't do that. Yes, you can, motherfucker.
Oh yeah.
You can literally do anything you want to do. You just got to do it. Yeah. You know what I mean?
You just gotta have that drive and motivation.
100%, man. And people in recovery are just a step ahead of everyone, man. Because like if you can stay sober and live life, you're more prepared for like the hard situations that most normal people crumble at. Like fortitude and having that indomitable will to like push on. I mean, dude, I could definitely see you being a psych MP, dude.
Here, Cam, how much Suboxone do you want? 12 milligrams twice a day? You got it.
Dude, back in the day, they were prescribing them bad boys like candy.
This'll cure your addiction right now.
I didn't even know what Suboxone was when I first made it to detox. And the doctor was just like, "Do you want Suboxone?" And I'm like, "What's that?" He's like, "Well, it helps your cravings." And I like walked out with like a script of two 8 milligram Suboxones a day, so 60 Suboxones. And then someone was like, "Yeah, you can sell those." I was like, "You can?"
No shit.
I shortly got off of them thereafter. Like I was taking them for like 2 weeks, and I was just like, the way that it was set up when I got sober, I was in treatment, so I had to wake up at like 4 a.m. and take a bus to go get dosed, and it was just a line of like 40 people waiting to get dosed, and I was like, this feels oddly similar. Yeah. I was like, there's something very similar about this. And so I ended up getting off of them, and I was only on it for like a week and a half, but it was a big thing back in the day to be prescribed 2 to 3 Suboxones a day.
It's craziness, man. I was on Suboxone for a short time, and I never got into it like, you know, some of the people I know, which I mean, I'm not shaming Suboxone.
Absolutely not.
It works for some people. But I definitely, you know, working in the field that we do, I see it overprescribed, and, you know, people get on it for years and years, and it's, you know, like I said, if it's used in a proper, you know, way, and it's coupled with counseling and group therapy, I believe it's definitely effective. But again, it's got to be prescribed, you know, properly. So, but yeah, I definitely relate with that. I've seen, you know, I've definitely talked to people who are like, yeah, I used to go get my script Suboxone for a month and a script of Percocet, and, you know, I'd bounce, sell both, or, you know, sell one, use the other, and then be cool for, you know, 30 days.
It's I think anyone who's on maintenance needs to be on maintenance. Like, if you're taking methadone and you're taking Suboxone and you're taking it as prescribed, more power to you, because like I would much rather people be on a steady dose of something than illegally getting something on the streets. And because like here's like the real pigeonhole, right? Like, the only way that I can see you truthful, like, and you're still going to need substance use treatment for this, right? But the only way I could successfully see the numbers of the opiate epidemic and drugs in general decrease is by legalizing drugs. That's the only way. If you want to see people stop dying, if that's the end goal, if you're like, hey, people are dying, and you're a nonprofit out there, or you're a state representative, or whatever the case might be, legalize it. Make sure the government has hold of it, and do something about it, because people are just, dude, they're dying because they don't know what they're putting into their bodies. And I don't think you're ever going to stop making people put substances in their body.
Yeah, people are still gonna, though. The thing is, it's gonna curb it, but there's still gonna be people finding cheaper ways.
Absolutely.
I go back to when I was ordering shit off the dark web. I mean, there's always gonna be a cheaper alternative. I mean, you can order stuff for pennies on the dollar and have it delivered to your doorstep. We were just talking, like you were saying, Amazon's going to have something here to your doorstep tomorrow, you know? Someone's going to say, well, you know, the government made me wait in line to get my dose today. Guess what? Amazon or whoever, ABC, you know, from China is going to have a whole kilo of it here in 24 hours.
Yeah, because I'm just going to be frank. Me and you were really blessed for when we got sober.
Yeah,
I'm gonna make no qualms about this. Like, it is a different beast out there nowadays. So me and you were lucky, not really, but we're lucky that we got sober when we did, because people weren't dropping like flies back when me and you got sober, and that's like the most gut-wrenching thing about this opiate epidemic now, is that people are there one day and they're just gone the next. I mean, it's. I think when I got sober, they told me the average lifespan of a heroin addict was 7 years, and I was like, well, I'm already over that kind of.
Yeah. You're like, I'll take my bets,
you know, but now I don't know what it is, but I was I think it was 109 or maybe 93,000 people died in 2020 to opiate abuse in the United States of America. That's an astounding fucking number, man.
Dude, that's crazy. I remember, you know, like you were saying, I remember being in treatment, and one of our group facilitators saying, like, you look around the room, one of every 4 of you, will survive this. That's it. One or 3 out of 4 of you will not make it past, whatever, a year. And it's held true. Every day, which it's sad because at least someone in my phone, they'll text me and be like, oh, so-and-so passed. And it's like every day when I log into Facebook, someone from whatever treatment center I was at, it'll be like, oh, so-and-so died, or John died, or, this person died. And it's true. Like, every time I've walked into work over the last year, there's been one person who I've known who's passed away.
Yeah.
And it's just the way it is. They're dropping like flies, and it's sad, And I feel very fortunate that I've been able to experience the life of that person, or been able to make somewhat of an impact in their life over the last few years, and been able to see them, get clean and sober for the time that they were. I wish I was able to do more, but it's the unfortunate truth of the life we live right now. I mean, it's like you said, there's so many, new drugs out there, and what they're cutting the drugs with, and we were very fortunate to get sober when we did, because it's not getting better, it's just getting worse.
Yeah, man. And also another good part, not really, it's not, I wish it never had to be this way, but because it's so widespread, I can see recovery being more accepted in the general population. Like, people, and whether they're California sober, they're still like, yo, I got off of meth and fentanyl, and I've been off of meth and fentanyl for 5 years. That's amazing, bro. And
yeah.
You know what I mean? And so, or whatever the case might be for those people, right? Like, I've seen people out in the community, 60s and 70s, hooked on fentanyl, because the doctor stopped prescribing Percocets and opiates because they realized it's wrong, or whatever the case might be. But recovery in general, I feel, has become more mainstream.
Yeah, it's not. I used to be so fearful of going in the rooms when, especially around the time when you and I first got sober.
For sure.
Always AA, especially, or just, I guess, recovery in general, used to be kind of stigmatized as just all a bunch of old timers sitting in a basement of a church,
yeah,
sipping coffee and smoking cigarettes. But now it's got that vast, there's a lot of age group difference. You may have your 19-year-old, heroin addict, and then you got your old timer, and I'm sorry to call him this, but your old timer, that 65 to 70-year-old, who's also a heroin addict or an alcoholic. There's not, do you remember when you used to go into AA and they would shame you if you said, oh, I'm clean or I'm sober? Like, you had to say, or you couldn't mention drugs at all.
You had to say, I'm an alcoholic.
Yeah, I'm an alcoholic, you know? And now it's a lot more accepted.
For sure.
I can remember going to, I won't say the specific meeting name, but it was a Sunday night meeting at a church over in, I guess it's West Toledo, but it was in the basement, and I went in there. This was like probably my first time trying to get sober through a treatment center here, and I was going there just to get my meeting stamp signed. But I walked in, and I was sitting there. I had like my meeting slip in my pocket, and I was nervous as all hell. I went and poured a cup of coffee, and one of the old timers there said, "You can just leave now." And like, my mom was sitting out in the parking lot. She was driving me. I had a DUI at the time. I had driving privileges, but she was making sure I went to that meeting. I sat down with my cup of coffee, and I was just shaking, and it was way too much creamer and sugar in it, and just like, it's probably spilling all over the table. And he's like, "You can go now. We're not signing your meeting slip."
That's what he said?
Yeah. And I was like, what? And I just like probably pissed myself, and I just got up and left. I went out, and I was like, "Mom, the meeting's not here tonight. I had the wrong time." And we just left. And that, it made me fearful of like the rooms. So that's why I was grateful, being able to come back and find other meeting spaces that, really were accepting of me. So I made it a point this time around when I got sober to go to that meeting every Sunday, because I was hoping I'd see that guy. Yeah. Just be like, fuck you, look, I'm doing it this time, and I don't have a meeting slip. But
no, that guy didn't. I'm not sure.
I never saw him. Yeah. He probably passed away or something. Rest in peace, that guy. But it was just, it's cool to see that change now. That they're a lot more accepting in the room. They understand.
Bro, it's because of people. It's because of people like me and you, bro, who went in the rooms and got sober, and they were like, "Look at these fucking asshats." and
it's the people before us too, Like,
absolutely, but like if we weren't, bro, if we weren't there, like. There was particular meetings that, like, when I first came up around, like, where, like, they definitely would not accept you saying that you were a drug addict. That now I go to nowadays after COVID, and like, people introduce themselves as drug addicts and no one bats an eye anymore. You know what I mean? And so, like, yeah, me and you got, like, the brunt of that old timer mentality that, sit down, shut the fuck up and listen.
They would too. They would call you and I out because we'd be giggling before the meetings and be like, Cam, Cody, shut the fuck up. Like, okay. But they were just happy that we were there in attendance as well. They were just keeping us accountable. Well, that's what we needed, as our first, 30 to 60 days sober.
For sure. Because I wasn't listening. Listen, it's been this way since I was a young fucking kid. If you tell me the sky is blue, I'm going to argue with you.
You're like,
right? Are you
sure it's blue or is it teal?
So if you tell me not to vape in a church, I might vape in a church.
Like, what's going to happen if I vape in this church?
Yeah, what are you going to do? Kick me out, dude? Make my day. Yeah. But, no, I mean, I've had those similar experiences. One time I was at a meeting and I read, like, a daily meditation from my phone, and this old timer came out screaming at me, didn't you hear the rules before the meeting? They said no phones in the meeting. And I was like, I was reading the daily meditation, man. Right?
Sorry I didn't have the physical hard book on.
Yeah. But yeah, I can't fit it in my pockets. I wear skinny jeans, dude.
Shout out skinny jeans.
Yeah, shout out to skinny jeans, dude. I call them normal jeans because I'm just fat now. Also,
saves me $10.
One thing that sobriety has given me is weight. Instead of using opiates, I eat cake.
I get my cake and I get it now.
Yeah, dude. It's I can definitely see the change of recovery from when we first started out to now. And then even when I go to meetings now, it's changed again. Like after COVID, like a lot of meetings are dead. People aren't doing Zoom meetings just because instead of COVID, like it's not even about COVID. They just rather do it from home. Yeah. They'd rather just sit on the Zoom and go do it from home.
I mean, do you remember the Monday night meeting that basically was held alive because of you and I?
Bro.
It was just you and I for the longest time sitting there. We'd make a whole pot of coffee and we're like, this week everyone's going to come. We blasted it on our Facebook and it'd just be you and I ripping our vapes sitting there in the room. We're like, well, got our meeting for the week. But that was, it took us doing that for the longest time. And now I think it's one of the most popular meetings currently in Toledo from my understanding. I haven't been there in probably a year, but from what I hear from, the job I work at, everyone's like, we're going to that meeting tonight. You should come out. And I'm like, it's Monday night. It was a long day.
Yeah, it's Monday, buddy.
Yeah, it's Monday. Like I'm pushing through to 5 o'clock if I'm getting out of the office on time, But, that meeting was going to die. Like we were going to, contact, the AA, membership board or whatever and just, say, hey, that home group's dead. It's Cam and I. We're running this with like 3 months sober. We should not be the only two people here.
The only people who were coming are people that we could fit in the Buick and the Dodge Durango.
A couple of them have like 2 days sober, and we're like, this is a chairperson, this is a chairperson.
You're like, you want to be a service? Mm-hmm. Can you moderate on acceptance?
Yeah. Can you pass out the meeting chips? Like, anyone have 30 days? No one in the room has 30 days.
Dude, that's my favorite part of HA is when they go to call chips. It's like 30 people get up, 60 people get up, 90 people get up, 120 people get up. 6 months, no one.
No.
9 months, no one. I'm like, oh, I've been there before.
24-hour chips are all gone, but no, the 1 year chips holding strong in there.
I don't think that meeting has ever ordered a year or 2 year coins. I don't
Ever.
think. Yeah, dude, but those were like good times. Those were the times that like, I needed to be at meetings like every day. I went to like 2 meetings a day faithfully back then. Faithfully, because like if I had like idle time on my hands, I would just like, I wouldn't think about using drugs, but I would just get itchy to do something, right? Like, and I'm one of those people who will be like, let's go drive around the ghetto.
Yeah. Like, let's go stir some shit up.
I want to go drive on Cherry and Central and see what's going to happen out there.
Let me just drive down LaGrange for the next 2 hours.
No, I live there. You like my neighbor's nice trash. I told the guy, I was like, you gotta call them and schedule a pickup, right?
Like, hey, they don't just pick that up, okay?
You gotta pay extra for that, Bubba.
He's like, I'll just leave it there long enough, they'll get it.
Well, one day I was walking in, and some guy walks up to me and he's like, hey man, really nice guy. He was like, hey man, he was like, I see you're doing some yard work. You need some help? And I'm like, yeah, sure. You want to weed the garden beds out front? And he's like, yeah, I'll do it for $10. And I was like, how about I give you like $30, man?
He came over and asked you for money, basically. That's all it was.
Yeah, but like, you're selling yourself real short, man. $10.
That would have been like, how about $9.50?
Jeff Bezos comes down and hands him $9.50.
You can clean out the cup holder in my car.
He's like, come with me, prodigal son. I'm taking you to Amazon land with me.
Can you stand in a 12 by 12 square for 12 hours? I got a job for you. There will be robots going around you at all times.
Oh, dude. So, did you ever think, like, where you're at now in your life you'd ever get to back then? Like, did you envision it while we were at fucking Mainline and no one was coming and all that bullshit?
Nah, man. So, this is another thing I was just talking about with our friend Eric, man. Never in my wildest dreams that I think, 4 years ago that A, I'd be working in the field that I am now, but B, doing what I am doing, when I got in this field, really my only goal, like I go back to, like 60 and 90 days sober, hanging out with the crew we were hanging out with Juan, for example. Mm-hmm. And my shout out Juan, love you.
He's probably jumping in a river or something.
Yeah.
Flying with the Eagles.
Probably baptizing someone in the Maumee River right now.
Soar, baby, soar.
I remember we'd have friends who, again, we were hanging out with those, friends that were, 12 days sober and were itching to get high and leaving treatment center A or treatment center B. And I just remember putting them in the Durango and you're not getting high. I'm going to drive 475 for the next 3 hours and you're not going to get high right now. And that was my only goal was just to give back. And that was me not working for, the treatment center. So I think that's what kind of got me into doing this was okay, now I can get paid to do this? Sweet. That's what I'm going to do. And then, I started as a transport driver and then it just continued on and on to, what I was ultimately doing now and, managing people and running operations.
You deserve it, by the way, man.
I appreciate that. I love it. I love what I do and working with people and, ultimately seeing the lives change of people. I don't get to personally work one-on-one with clients daily, which is what I wish I could do more. But I think that's something that could ultimately change for me here. But no, 4 years ago this was not anything that I envisioned. I always envisioned myself going back to working in a restaurant or I had no idea. When I came into treatment, it was throwing up the white flag because what I knew at that time was the way I was living wasn't working for me. It was just not, because any time, and I feel like this is just a thing everyone says, but it truly was, what was true is that Cody's way was the wrong way. And I needed someone else who had been where I was to teach me how did it work for you. And whether that was financials, whether that was day-to-day living, I need someone to tell me, hey, get up, make your bed every morning, pray to whatever your higher power was or is, and do your dishes or whatever it is, like do your laundry every Tuesday, like, and that's things that I followed and done for the last 4 years, and it's kept me sober. So like I know that every day I get up, I make my bed, I pray. Every Friday I do my laundry. Again, I've stuck to this routine, and it's funny because like my family makes fun of me, but I'm like, I can't get out of my routine.
No, routine feels good too, man. Like having a routine, like doing normal, bro. You were talking about your Netflix thing, right?
Yeah.
I got like the same kind of thing, right? It's like what it looks like for me is like I get off of work, and then when I get off of work, I've been working out recently, but what it looks like for me is I get off of work, I clean some stuff up around the house, try to get some things together around the house. Not for me, for her, and
yeah. You're like, nah, I'll sleep in it.
Yeah, dude, I didn't have fucking sheets on my bed for, dude. She called me out on my bullshit so bad. She was like, when I first went over, she was like, I knew you were an okay kind of guy because you had sheets on your bed. She was like, but I knew you probably didn't wash them. And she was so right.
Those things hadn't been washed since you bought them.
Yeah, they were never washed. And so I clean up something around the house. I get my dinner together, and then I love playing chess, bro. Yeah. Like I literally will sit on and it's not like on my phone, like on social media apps. Like I sit on my phone and I play chess, and it gets my mind going. It gets my mind off of work, and it's how I decompress. And so I think routine is a big part of like normalcy, right? Like that normalcy of just being like, all right, this is what I'm going to do today. This is what I have to do, and it's going to be a good day.
Yeah, and that's been a huge thing for me. Like I live by my calendar in my phone. Like I know that if I put something in my calendar, like next week I've got a meeting on Monday. I know that Wednesday I'm getting my oil changed. Like, and if I throw off a little bit into my calendar, like I can adjust and change things. There's going to be things that come up, but like I have to stick to a schedule, because when I stop doing those things, it throws off my whole, a balance of everything. If I don't stick to this routine, it's just going to unravel everything else in my life. So yeah, I mean, there's going to be things that come up, like, there's going to be, I got a, emergency doctor appointment or something, whatever. There's going to be someone that hits me and say, hey, let's get dinner Wednesday or whatever, goes on. That's fine. I can do those things, but like, I need to stick to like my core schedule that I do, because it will unwind me throughout the day. Like if I wake up late and I'm like, oh shit, I didn't make my bed, I haven't prayed, I haven't done those things, my whole day will just go to shit. And people will be like, you're in a really funky mood. I'm like, yeah, because I haven't done what I need to do for myself today. And that's really what's helped me over the last 4 years. And like, I needed someone to teach me financially what to do, because I am very impulsive. Like I always say, I'm addicted to more. I'm always one of those people. I will get paid and I will blow a paycheck in a day. And I need someone to teach me, like, you need to always keep money saved on you. Like you need to keep $100 bill on you at all times in your wallet. That's your emergency spending. You never know. You might go somewhere that you can't use a card. Their card machine might be down. And then you need to take so much from a paycheck and put it into a savings every month. And I've done that, and it's helped me, because like my old Durango, it broke down. That thing died on me. And it helped me because my credit was crap when I first got sober. I had no one to co-sign me. It helped me get in my first car. And over the last 3-4 years, I've built my credit up, and I was just able to get a brand new car recently. But those are all things like I didn't know. Like, we go to high school and they teach us, oh, you need to y equal whatever,
bro.
Y equals mx plus b, whatever that bullshit is. I need to learn how to balance a checkbook, motherfucker, and invest.
So that's the thing, right? Is like, and it's no fault to our parents, because like they used to try helping us, probably. Like if you had parents, they would try, but they would say like it's almost like AA sayings, right? Like how AA is like, this is a selfish program. Like when they would say stuff like that, I didn't know what the fuck that really meant. Okay, when I first got sober, and so my parents would go, you need to save money, and I'm like, yeah, no shit.
You're like, yeah, cool, mom, but I better stick a needle in my arm.
Yeah, I was like, yeah, mom, I gotta save money. Yeah, 2 + 2 = 4. Makes sense. Like, let's move on. And then like as you're talking about these things, like no one taught me that my credit score mattered. No one taught me that I could be sued for medical bills. I didn't know those motherfuckers could sue me for saving my life. Like I didn't know that all these decisions I was making previous in life would come to bite me in the ass years later. Like I had no clue. And you're right, man. They needed to have some financial literacy classes in school.
Yeah, man. I wish there was just like a year of high school that taught me everything that, like, here, this is how to be a grown-up. This is how you balance a checkbook. Here is a whole semester of making recipes.
Yeah.
Like, which, I mean, that's stuff you just, you know, you start to learn. Like, you might find food you like and things like that. But, like, just any of that sort of stuff. Here's how you change oil on a car and rotate your tires. Like, just the basic life skills that you need to be a adult and a citizen in this world. You know, a lot of that stuff is like, I've learned more over the last 4 years being in recovery, like, just from the people in the rooms and, like, friends that I've gained over these years. Someone's been like, oh yeah, I'm a really good mechanic, I can help you with that, you know, and they lend their time to me and don't even charge me. When I've gone to a shop and I'm like, yeah, $800 to fix that. Then my friend's like, oh, it's $100 part and I'll help you, you know?
That's definitely happened to me. It's definitely happened to me in my life, and because of being sober, I've had more opportunities given to me from being sober and, like, knowing good people, like caliber people that I could, like, actually learn something from. Like, I'll never forget. Shout out Raquel. Raquel was working over at Express or whatever, Express Employment or some temp agency.
I forgot about that.
And she would give me, like, pretty good jobs that were, like, well-paying. Like, she would, like, hook me up with the well-paying jobs over at the temp agency, and it was dope. But there was this one job that was well-paying, but it was the most fucking monotonous job I had, dude. It was an envelope and ticket factory, okay?
Oh, no.
I didn't know they had an envelope and ticket factory.
You having to lick every envelope?
Dude, I thought there was just envelope elves, and they just fucking made them on a machine or something. I didn't think that people actually worked at an envelope factory. Well, I was one of those people making envelopes, okay? And what I had to do is they put me next to this machine, and they had the envelopes, and they would count out the envelopes by 60. Okay, so literally a minute, and you would watch the envelope 1, 2, 3, 4, and you would watch a counter. When it got to 60, you take the 60 envelopes, bag it up, put it down, and then you count 60 more, and you get like fucking 600 envelopes, and then you put it in a big tote, and then on to another 60.
Oh shit!
Literally counting seconds. I worked there for a day and a half. Okay.
You're like, I'm done.
A day and a half.
I have so many paper cuts on my hand. I'm done.
I had to poop so much working that job. Listen, I wasn't even using drugs, and I had a bad bladder. And someone from recovery hit me up and was like, "Hey, do you want a job being a laborer for my tile company?" And I'm like, "Absolutely. When can I start?" He's like, "Can you come today?" I'm like, "I'm right there."
Yeah.
I literally texted Raquel and I was like, "I'm done. I'm out of here. I quit. I'm sorry. You can tell him I quit. I don't care. I'm leaving." And I left. And that day I started doing tile. That day.
Yeah.
That would have never happened if I was getting high.
I forgot you were doing that tile job. That's right.
Yeah, I did that for like 8 months or like somewhere around there. And like I would never. Dude, when I was getting high, the worst things imaginable could happen to me. I mean, dude, if there was one patch of ice somewhere, I would slip and fall on it. If I fixed one tire for being flat, the other tire would be flat. If I actually had $50, I would lose $50. Yeah. Like those opportunities that I have now just would never be available to me back then.
Yeah, man. That's the thing. That's where I felt right now, like, you know, like I said earlier, up till the day I was employed. But that was one of the biggest decision factors for me being with the company I was at for 4 years. I was like, do I leave? Do I stay? And you know, it really opened the door for me, finding out how many job opportunities that I had, even if it wasn't at a, you know, salary that I wanted. You know, I found out that I had so many friends, so many opportunities that I wasn't going to stay unemployed. You know, there's so many opportunities out there just from the connections I've made over the last few years, and let alone just being employable now. Mm-hmm. Not being an addict and putting heroin in my arm every day, that someone is willing to hire me. Like, I could go work right now and someone's going to trust and believe that I will be there, you know, to start. So,
yeah.
I mean, we're very fortunate to be where we're at right now, man.
Yeah, dude, I'm 100%, man, because, like, even the climate in, like, working jobs now, like, being people who oversee people, me and you both know, no one gives a fuck anymore. Like, when it comes to workers, like, they know. Like, and I understand. Like, bro, they can go anywhere and make good money right now.
Oh, yeah.
So, like, the field that me and you work in, and it really is really not about money, right? Like, it's really about, like, to work in our field, your heart has to be in it.
Oh, sure.
Before you could ever be successful at the job and want to move up. Like, you have to be invested in that field to want to keep working in it, because the money's not there, and people can go and they do, right? People who stick around are people who have their hearts in this field, and the people who don't, they don't.
I mean, you can go to Chick-fil-A right now and make $16 an hour,
Dude,
and get a free meal every day. Shit, sign me up.
My favorite place to eat right now is Panda Express. They got one over on Monroe Street.
Yeah.
And I was pulling up for the first time eating there. And I went to go pull up, and they had this sign, and it said, hiring customer service for $16 an hour. And I was like, what the fuck? Like, my first job was I'm sounding kind of old right now, but my first job was Del Taco when I was 14.
Dude, I love Del Taco.
Oh, it was great, dude.
So good.
You could taste cancer starting in your stomach.
You could get a hamburger and a taco all in one meal.
Yeah, dude. It was the perfect late night food.
Perfect. Be stoned going through Del Taco at like 1:30 in the morning. Oh, yeah.
And there was just a bunch of guys who look exactly like me work there.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, they looked...
Just smoking a mids bowl in the back kitchen. Yeah.
They dropped out of high school.
Hooking you up on the best burger you've had in a while.
They're 16 and going to become a SoundCloud rapper.
Yeah, buddy. Right before SoundCloud was ever out.
Oh, dude, they're going to be a LimeWire rapper. They're going to start a MySpace music page.
Dude, I miss MySpace. I'm still trying to get into mine. I can't find it.
I wish I could, because there were so many good memories that I had.
I don't know what my top 8 was. But the problem is it's like linked to a Hotmail that I can't remember. I know what my Hotmail was, but I can't get into it.
Did you get into like making like your profile page with like the different backgrounds and stuff?
Dude,
all the HTML codes and all that?
Yeah,
me too.
I don't remember. I had so many different backgrounds, and I just want to know like if my top 8 still has their profiles so I could see who it is. So I lived in a whole different state when I had MySpace. So I want to know like what those friends are doing, where they're at now. Like you said, they probably all own tech companies and they're fucking, rich and famous and shit. But yeah, man, I really wish I could see what is up with those people.
So what state did you live in before Ohio?
So around 4th grade, it was the end of 4th grade, my dad went back to school and became a pharmacist. So we moved to northern Michigan, a little town that no one's ever heard of, and I'm going to really make myself look like a Michigander when I do this, but Alpena, Michigan. And like if the state of Michigan's like the glove, it's up here in the top right corner.
Oh, so you were UP. You were up in the UP.
It was an hour south of the Upper Peninsula.
Okay.
So you can get to Mackinac Island in like an hour and 45. So we moved up there. I lived there for 4 years. None of my family is up there. Besides, I have like one aunt and uncle that live up there. And then my family didn't like it because all our family lives down here in Toledo. So we moved back. And that's when I started freshman year of high school down here. But, I mean, I have some of those friends that have, like, migrated over to my Facebook, and I know some of them.
Yeah.
But, like, I want to see what, like, 5th grade Cody was putting on his MySpace, Like, what was I posting about? Because I, like, get on MSN Messenger and add me,
Yeah, for sure, dude.
Wait till I get off the school bus at 3 o'clock. Let's get on MSN and chat.
Modern Warfare 2.
Yeah.
Dude, I was a big Halo player back then. I always used to play Halo, and then for sure, I was an AOL chat guy, I was an AIM guy.
I never had AOL.
I was AIM because I had AOL internet, so I always used the AIM for messaging.
Okay.
It was a weird time to be alive back then, because like this is right when like Skype was coming out, and it was right when chat roulette was becoming a thing, and weird old men could show their penises to young boys and girls.
Not get charged for it.
Not get charged for it, because like if you went to like a police report and you were like, hey, some weird old man revealed himself on chat roulette, they'd be like, what the fuck is that? Yeah. You know what I mean? And like your Razor's not going to record it well.
Yeah.
Even if you...
They're going to be like, we can't even tell what this is. Yeah. Like, cool, dude. Is that a dog? Is that a car driving by? No, okay.
Yeah, dude. I mean, social media...
Let alone if you had a camera on your phone back then.
Dude, so we were talking about this, dude, like how you were the shit if you had a Razor back in the day, and then sooner or later you migrated right to the LG chocolate or the BlackBerry.
Yeah, dude, I had an LG Sidekick. You remember that? Maybe it wasn't LG, it was the Sidekick. It was the one that was like sideways and you flipped it and the screen spun out.
Oh, that's that.
Yeah.
Oh, you were fucking cool,
dude. I thought I was the sweetest. And then my parents switched to Verizon and I got like the Juke.
The Juke. I remember. Hold on. I remember.
Juke. It was like the music phones. My mom's like, "We're not buying you an iPod. Those are too expensive."
Yeah.
So we got you this Juke, and it held like 10 songs. And so every day I had to make a new playlist. Like my girlfriend, I was like, "Here, let me play some music for you on my Juke. I made you a playlist."
You remember ringback tones,
dude? Okay. So I have a funny story about a ringback tone. So my new boss at this job I'm going to. He had a ringback tone because apparently he had this number for like 10 or 15 years. Apparently when Verizon got rid of ringback tones, it then changed your ringback tone to that like classical tone.
Okay.
So now when you call him, he can't figure out how to get rid of the classical tone. So when you call, it's like, please hold while we play this tone for you. And I'm like, he still has a ringback tone? Does he be like Gucci Mane or something? Yeah, it's just that. It's like, it's whatever, the falsetto tone, and it's just like classical music. And I was like,
it's elevator music.
Yeah, I'm like, how can I come work for you when you have a ringback tone? And he was like, stop, I can't get rid of it. I said, then get a new phone number.
That would scare me if I called my new boss and he had a ring. That would scare me. I'd be like, this motherfucker's really on his shit. I was like, he's got a ringback tone?
I was like, you make how much a year and you can't fix your ringback tone? I said, call your phone company, dude.
Is this your personal cell phone from 1999?
I said, do you still have a Razor? I said, grow up.
Yeah, no, I'm looking at the Jukes right now, dude. I'm looking at the Juke phone. And so...
It looked like a little switchblade.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I had the similar thing, the LG chocolate. They called it the chocolate because it was like different chocolatey colors or whatever. Yeah. So dumb. So yours was
There's
like...
more memory in my key fob of my phone than that phone had, or key fob of my... than that phone had.
Oh my god, dude. You would send someone a picture and they would get it the next night.
Yeah, exactly. I take one picture, I have to delete it to take another.
It would just pixelate your forehead and everything else would be blurry.
Our vapes probably have more storage on it.
Dude, Brian, okay, he got me addicted to these things. Okay, so when he came over, he gave me a gift. Very nice of him. He brought me that steak, and then he brought me one of these. Mm-hmm. And he's like, he was like a narcotic salesman. Okay, he was like, these are the best thing, dude. I know you've been vaping for a long time. These are the best ones. And I'm like, no, I don't really smoke disposables, right? Mm-hmm. Dude,
I'm hooked ever since.
I can't stop, dude. And then my fucking local gas station knows I'm a drug addict, so they're hitting me for the 2 for $30 deals.
Oh yeah.
And I'm like, okay, I'll buy the 2 for $30. You know what I mean? And then I go to other places when I need one, and they're like, yeah, we don't have 2 for $30. And I'm like, I can't buy here. I'm sorry.
I gotta pick up 2 at the gas station by my house. I have a gas station. It's probably about 50 yards from my house. Every time I go in there, they're like, hey, Cody, we got a new flavor. And I'm like, what? They're like, yep, we'll do the 2 for $30 deal. Or actually, the second one we'll do for $10 since it's a new flavor. Let us know how it is. And then I get hooked on that one. Every time I come into work, Brian and I are comparing vapes. I'm like, have you tried the new Lush Ice Bubble Gum, blah, 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 blah. And he's like, yes, yes, I have. Actually, I got 3. And I'm like, it's just like Suboxone. We're addicted.
Dude, it literally, the strawberry peach mint is just that's where I'm at. That's my zone right now. So me and her both had COVID, and she works over at Chrysler or whatever. So like, I told her not to get tested when she went to go get tested because I like day one I was at work and I was like, I have bad headaches because of my brain injury, but it was like a really weird headache, and I was like, I looked at my boss and I'm like, I think I got it, dude. I don't know, but I'm probably gonna go get tested. That night, bro, I'm just pouring sweat and I'm shivering and shaking, dude. And she's like, you just have the flu. And I'm like, no. This isn't the flu.
This feels like withdrawals.
No, for real, it did.
Yeah.
3-day withdrawals is what it felt like.
Hit you like a brick shit house.
Yeah, dude. And so so she got tested. I was positive, and then she got tested right afterwards, and she wasn't sick yet. And I was like, you should wait. So she came back negative.
Oof.
She came back negative and then got sick and then tested positive later. Mm-hmm. So she's going back to work on the 28th because she had to sit through my quarantine and then her quarantine or whatever. Yeah. So like when this happened, she was like, well, you're going to need to pay all the bills, have some money set. I'm like, yeah, we're good. I'm like, how much money do you have? And she's like, I got enough. I'm like, okay, but keep it in case we need vapes.
Don't understand, we can't go dry.
Yeah, dude, I can't.
We need to ration.
Dude, I sleep with this thing. I have full-blown panic attacks when I can't find it.
I woke up with this thing between my legs last night, and it was just hot and steamy, and I was like, you have a problem. And then I went and bought another one today, and I'm not even out of this one yet, but I can't let it
No, I feel like one of those people who used to smoke 3 packs of Winston's a day. You know what I mean?
Shout out Winston's, honestly.
Those are your grandpappy cigarettes.
Grandpappy cigarettes, but yeah, I used to smoke the Marlboro Milds. The blue daddies.
Those are good.
It was just a perfect mix.
I would switch it up. I would either go to the Milds or the Turkish Royals.
Okay. I remember that. Yeah.
That's always what I was smoking.
Who of our friend group smoked the Marlboro 27s? I'm trying to remember.
I think it was Kinzel.
Yeah. No, Kinzel smoked the Camels.
Okay, yeah, he smoked the Camels. Yep.
Yeah, the Camels, the blue Camels.
Yeah, the lights, the Camel lights.
Camel lights.
And Camel lights really aren't lights.
No, they're not. They're heavy.
Yeah, they're a little heavy for a light cigarette. You want a light, you smoke Marlboro Light or Misty's.
Kinzel is a Misty. Dude, he looks like you smoke Misties.
People who have lung cancer smoke Misty lights.
They're like, that's fine. They're trach.
Yeah, dude. They're doc says I got to go switch to Misty lights. It's like,
look, you had cancer 30 years ago. It's still ongoing.
Yes.
Just quit smoking.
I beat cancer 3 times with Misty lights. Like, there's some health benefits to smoking Misty lights.
You might as well just smoke straight raw papers at this point, okay?
I have a grandmother who lived to 106, and she smoked Misty lights every day. I'm kidding. She didn't.
I was like, wow, Cam.
My genetics aren't good, dude. We always die early, dude. You could tell a lot. You could, like, when someone pulls out a pack of 100 Newport Menthols, I know what they're on.
Yeah.
They'd rob me. They'd steal from me if I wasn't looking. You know what I mean? You can tell a lot about someone's cigarettes. Like,
or if they put their lighter inside their cigarette pack.
Oh, and flip a Lucky.
Oh yeah.
Are you kidding me? Or flipped. I've seen
flip
people.
Two.
Oh, dude, those are the. I'm red flag. You know that? Yeah. You know that fucking meme, dude?
Yeah, that's the red flag. That started it.
That's a red flag, dude. Why do you need 2 Luckies for? Are you that unlucky?
You're like that miserable?
Yeah, are you that fucking unlucky? You need 2 Lucky cigarettes? That's why they call it a Lucky. It's just one.
Yeah.
Those
Your
are like,
life is that poor.
Oh,
you're
dude.
like, one cigarette ain't gonna do it. You might as well flip the whole pack, bud.
He wears a fucking Monster t-shirt. He has like one of those Monster label. His name is Kyle. He's really trendy. He's woke, dude. And he's flipping 2 fucking cigarettes.
And he's punched so many holes in his sober living house.
Who hasn't? You know what I mean? Who hasn't punched a couple of holes in the sober living, you know?
Shout out Eric Trim throwing pennies at me when we first got sober.
Dude, Eric is the worst friend.
He was just manic coming off gabapentin.
Dude,
it's okay.
I have some of like the... Dude, shout out to Eric. He is so funny.
I wish he was here tonight.
I do too. I stayed with him one night when he was... When he was like... It was like his apartment that he was living at and was still allowed to live at. I stayed with him one night. And you remember when you were growing up and like your friend just like left you on the couch high and dry? Like no blankets, no pillows, no nothing. That's exactly what he did to me, except he had pillows and blankets to give but didn't.
Of course.
He gave me like a fitted he gave me like a fitted sheet he gave me one of those like one of those fitted sheets for a bed, and then gave me like a throw pillow. And bro, it was like the middle of winter, and he had like 3 fans going, and I'm just laying on the ground on this hardwood going. And he's like, "Are you cold?" And I'm like, "Yeah, bro." He's just laughing.
It's like that meme where it's like you stay over at a friend's house and they give you a roll of paper towels as a pillow, and that's it.
Yeah, bro. That's exactly how, dude. He looked at. I was over at this house the other night before my wedding, and
oh yeah, congrats to you, man. You're a married man.
I'm
now.
a fucking married. We're doing things, bro. You're on to bigger and better things. You're on to a new job.
You ever think you'd be where you're at now,
dude? No, dude. And here's the thing. I didn't. The truth is, like, I think I have like abandonment issues. So I didn't want to be with someone, and then like, because when you get married to someone, my ideal marriage is like forever, right? Like that's just my ideal marriage. That's how it should be. But like, when growing up in like the era that me and you grew up in, people don't stick together.
No, man, marriage has been a lot shorter. You see a lot of people getting divorced. I mean, my grandparents got divorced after 41 years.
And so it's like
the goal is forever, though.
Yeah, like that's like the goal behind marriage. So like it was just really scary, and I never thought this would happen to me, dude. I'm blessed, man. I got a good one. You know what I mean? She dude, she added a lot of value into my life. She just like and I think she suckered me in a little bit. You know what I mean? I think she did.
She tricked you?
I think she tricked me because like we were just talking about this like, and she knew what she was doing because she used to make me dinner every night.
I know. I used to see that on your Snapchat or on your Facebook.
Yeah.
I was like, Cam's eating good. What's going on?
Oh, I didn't.
I'm a bit envious right now. I'm sitting here in the Arby's drive-thru for the 3rd night this week, and he's eating home-cooked meals.
Oh, dude, there's like she has like storage bins. You know, I never had storage bins in my life. You know what I mean?
Organizing your life.
Yeah, you know what I mean. She's like, "Oh, we're gonna go and get new, curtains for the house." I'm like, these curtains are fine.
Who buys curtains?
Yeah,
what these mini blinds don't work.
These curtains are great.
I just staple a sheet to my window.
They got mold on them, babe. This is history. This is character in these blinds. But no, she's just like, if you find a partner, I think it just really adds a good. It just adds so much depth and value into your life. I really didn't think so because, like, dude, girls used to sleep with me in my mattress. I was living with Tina. I had a twin size. It amazed me. Okay, there was a certain point in time in my recovery where I was living with Tina, and these were regular girls. Okay, and I was being respectful to Tina, so I wouldn't, because of her small children, I wouldn't just walk girls in to the front where her son could see them. Yeah. Right? So like these normal, nothing wrong, maybe a little bit was wrong with them, but nothing.
Maybe with their mental health.
Yeah. Nothing on paper. Nothing wrong with these girls, okay? And they're at some crummy apartment, and I'm sneaking them in through my bedroom window because I have a ground floor apartment.
I remember.
And they're having sex with me on a twin mattress on the floor. On the floor, man.
Hey, man.
So when you ask me, like, did you ever think you were going to get married? No.
Nah, absolutely not.
No, I didn't think I was going to get married, man.
Shit.
I just didn't. I didn't foresee it happening to me. And so, like, when I got the job working in recovery, I wasn't looking for that either. You know? What ended up happening is I was at a meeting and I was working at the towel place, and someone was just like, "You want a job for the place that I had gotten sober at EFE?" And I'm like, "Yeah, man." And they're like, "Okay, come for the interview." So like I never went out and searched to work in treatment. That was never, and the same thing, I never searched to like settle down or none of that. It just all fell in my lap. Yeah. You know, I think that's how it's supposed to be, bro.
Yeah, I mean the job opportunities are going to come, and I mean this is a part of your story, you know. There's a will out there for you, you know. This is the path. I mean, whether we're I guess I'm looking for the words, but you know, there's always whatever the higher power you believe in. You know, there's someone guiding, you know, the route you're taking, You know, that's what I truly believe in. You know, there's a will out there for us. You know, maybe this is not, you know, there's a reason I'm here tonight and you and I are talking, but there's a reason everything that's happened to us, and there's a reason everything that's going to continue to happen to us. Who knows? And maybe in the next 30 days, you won't be working in treatment anymore. Maybe I won't be working in treatment anymore. Maybe we'll be doing some fucking other thing. Who knows? Maybe you'll be going back and working to tile. Maybe I'll be back working in a kitchen. But what's meant to happen will happen, and we're going to grow from it. If anything, like I was just talking with Juan the other night, and what it does is it continues to add value to our life and experience, and that's the most important thing. If anything that's taught me over the last 4 years is that's what it's done. It's continued to add value to our lives, and it's given us the experience and strength and hope to continue on. You know, like all these past experiences that have happened to us, like that's what's given us the confidence to continue to grow as well. Like, you know, like you were saying, that envelope factory is giving you the experience to continue to grow. Like, even though you worked there a day and a half, you now have that story to tell and give that experience and tell someone else, don't ever work at a fucking envelope factory.
Yeah, dude.
You know? But you had that job experience that then opened the door of someone else also talking to you, and you now have the experience from working in that tile job for 8 months. And then someone coming up to you in the meeting. You know, it just continues to add value to your life.
You know, that was like kind of like the big part of this. I always wanted to do a podcast, but one of the bigger ideas I had for doing this podcast, the way I'm doing it now, is that I just, I didn't want it to be this kind of NPR feel like recovery podcast. I wanted to be able to have people over in recovery and talk about their successes and talk about their lives in a vulnerable way, and also like talk about their experiences and stories for while they were in recovery, man. Because like I feel like a lot of things that get monetized or get shown on social media about recovery can be borderline cringy, but also like kind of like manufactured in a sense. And it's, I get why people do it. They want to do it because they don't want people to look at them different. But like a big part of this is so people can sit here, recovery or not, people in recovery or people who are not in recovery, who can talk about the experiences that they had, man. Because like the big thing for me, bro, was like people who I could empathize with and could feel connected to when I was first in recovery, when I felt alone, bro, my whole life up until I became a part of something, you know. So like, bro, the experiences now that I had, dude, how about this? You ever felt like there was like, maybe for me, I always felt like the shoe was gonna drop, dude. Like for the first couple of years, I was like, okay, when am I gonna when is everything gonna be fucked up? When is everything gonna be so fucking damaged where I can't fix it? Mm-hmm. And I've been through some shit now in my life through recovery where I'm like, it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Like anything can happen and it's gonna be okay.
Yeah, I'm gonna
like
get through it.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
that's so monumental, bro. Because like when you have that feeling, fuck, I mean, what am I scared of? Like, if I am scared, like, I'm going to get through this bullshit.
Yeah, it kind of goes back to, you know, what we were talking about earlier. Like, you know, lose a job, and it's like, you know, I'm going to recover from this. There's going to be something else out there for me. I can remember, like, using and freaking out, like, they're going to catch on to me. They're going to know I'm shooting heroin in their bathroom. I'm going to lose this job, and I'm never going to be able to survive this. How am I going to afford my insurance? I wasn't paying my car insurance anyways. But, you know what I mean? How am I going to get my fix? Meanwhile, I'm stealing all the cash out of the cash register drawer, you know? But now I'm like, you know what? If I lose my job, you know, if I don't get another new job, I'm still going to be okay. Like, I will find a job. I will pay my bills. My family loves me. You know, I'm still going to be okay. You know, but that was like that fear we lived in for so long. And like, you know, you used to fret like, oh God, you know, I'm like you were talking about earlier, the flat tire. I'm going to get a flat tire. That's going to ruin my life. I just got a flat tire the other day, and it was like, okay, call and make an appointment, get your flat tire plugged. Like, bro, it's seriously not ruining my life. Like, those things used to it's like making mountain out of molehills, you know? Mm-hmm. And it's, you know, that's the beautiful part of being on the other side of things.
I wish that I could like do this for everyone, and you can't. I mean, you can in a sense, but it's if they believe you, right? I wish I could just grab someone up who's fucking like 3 days sober and scared as shit and like is doesn't know what they want, and I wish I could just like propel them into like 3 years or 4 years in their recovery and be like, yo, this is what it is. This is what it feels like. This is all the greatness that can happen to you, because it does. It's really like bro. Eric's a testament to this. You're a testament, bro. By the way, you're one of the most genuine, kind, nice people I have ever met. It's the truth, man. You're just generally nice and genuine and giving. And but like we were talking about. I
appreciate that.
Yeah, man. Going from the Dodge Durango to where you're at now to being at EFE to sleeping in a bedroom with a twin size mattress on the floor, from Eric from being all the way into Florida to coming up here, bro, having nothing. A lot of us have those kind of stories where we really did not come from nothing, and we have everything that we could ever want in life and way more.
Yeah, we have all our needs met, plus all the stuff we want. We go above and beyond that with our wants, you know? And it's like, yeah, like you were saying, I wish we could do that, like propel someone and be like, this is what it is now, 3-4 years later. But it is kind of hard for someone, like you're saying, 3 days sober to encompass that or imagine that. And, you know, I remember, you know, being like, 30 days clean, 60 days clean, being like, I want everything they have. I want that new car. I want all that. And going too fast into those things. I'm going to get all those things. Getting that first car with like a 24% interest rate and being like, yeah, this is the greatest thing ever.
For sure.
Paying all my first paycheck going to that.
For sure.
But, you know, that's why those people need us, so that we can be like, humble yourself, slow down. You drive that beater Dodge Durango and Buick for the first few years and get through it, because, you know, like, people will gloat, and like you were saying, on Facebook, you know, people tend to see that, like, oh, look at these people who work in treatment and they have all these nice things. But that's why I kind of just tend to stay away from social media. I don't post my life on there. You know, I'll share things like, you know, I'll share sometimes, you know, our local sheriff's department will share, you know, we've had a lot of overdoses lately, state, you know, use harm reduction centers, things like that. But I don't post a lot on there, because I tend to feel, at least this is what I feel people see it as, like, I feel if I share where I've gotten to, or if I share, like, here I got a new vehicle, or, you know, this is where I moved to a nicer part of town, people are gonna be like, oh, look at what he's got. It's all because of this, and this. And I'm like, well, actually, I worked hard for it. So I don't want it to seem like I'm gloating, you know, or I'm, you know, showing, you know what I mean, I'm bragging about these things. So I just, you know, and it's none of their fucking business what I'm doing, you know? I'm not, you know what I mean? I don't wear gold jewelry, and, like, you know what I mean? You and Eric have had gold chains, and nothing against that, but I'm not going to be on Facebook flashing a gold watch and a gold chain
Absolutely.
And doing that stuff, because it's not the best look to be doing. So, you know what I mean? I have nice things, and I've worked hard for them, and that's just the way, like, I don't need that. Also, I don't want to get jumped. You know what I mean? So I just, you know, I'm just not a, you know, social media type of person. I go on there mostly to connect with family who don't live in the same state as me.
Yeah.
And like I said, I keep up with, like, the people I've been in treatment with in the past. And mostly to connect with the people I don't see every day. Like, all right, what are they up to? You know, find out people are having kids or getting married, and, you know, things like that.
Well, because, like, that's what, and dude, I 100% get it. Like, if I'm not posting about the podcast, I really don't post too much either on social media. And the people who do that kind of stuff, like, dude, there's been studies shown, like, when you post on social media and you get a bunch of likes, like, your endorphin levels rise. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? And these people, sometimes when they're bro, everything that glitters ain't gold. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Like, I'll be on TikTok, bro, and they're, like, condemning this person for this, like, 5-second video that, you know, they said something stupid or didn't know the terminology on, and they're condemning this person, which is fine. I get it. Good content. You want to make fun of someone. Yeah, okay. Yeah. But, like, yo, get off your high horse.
Oh, yeah.
I know you did some shit that you hope no one ever knows about. You want me
to go find your MySpace from 08? Because I'll roast you, too.
Listen, dude, I love your 2022 Chevy Malibu a lot, but I know you did something else, too. Yeah. You know what I mean?
Like, where's your OnlyFans, okay? We'll find that real quick.
I'm going to go check your Twitter and Instagram right now. So I get it, man, because like there is that feeling on social media where like it's constantly, you know, what I got or what I'm doing or look at this or look at that, and like those are the people I know. Those are the people I know who really have some deep, dark-seated shit. You know what I mean? Like they're like adopted and they're not talking about it or whatever the case might be. Like those people who are constantly like showing the good in their lives. Like, okay, what else is going on behind the scenes? You know,
you really beat your wife at home?
Yeah. What are you compensating for here, pal?
Yeah, man, it's just, I don't know. I just don't feel the need to like go on my social media. Mostly what I do is I sit there and I scroll TikTok, and you'll see I send you shit.
Oh, dude,
I send Eric stuff.
I actually just watched the one you sent me with the guy quitting his job or working for his dad. Dude, I was dying.
He had a poop in his sock.
Yeah, I was fucking dying, dude. And the poop went straight to my boot.
Yeah. Oh shit! But that's the thing. That's like, I don't know. I slowly like admire that. Like my dad doesn't even have Facebook. He's like, I don't see the need for that. What's the point? He's like, what? So your employer can stalk you and find a reason to fire you? And I was like, yeah, I see that now. It's 100%. But you know, like I remember the early days of getting sober. Like some of the people we've worked for, they're like, you need to go on there, you need to make a post, appreciate how sober you've been, and show other addicts that they can get sober like you too. And I used to do that. I used to like glorify, and you know, it may have helped someone. I used to have people reach out to me. I had families reach out to me. They'd be like, it's great, we love to see how far you come. They used to send my mom like screenshots of my Facebook, and they say, oh, look how great Cody's doing. And I'm like, you know what? There's probably just as many people that sent how great it was. There's 10 times more people roasting me for those posts. And like, well, whatever, I don't care. But now I just don't feel the need to do that, because I'm like, you know what? The people that know I'm doing well know I'm doing well. And if the people that know what's wrong in my life are the only people that need to know what's wrong in my life. Facebook is just a false reality. Yeah. It's the fucking metaverse or whatever that bullshit is now.
Dude, so I was... Listen, I've been listening to a lot of podcasts. I'm an avid podcast listener. I don't listen to Joe Rogan too much anymore. Maybe catch if there's like a good guest on, I'll listen to him. But he had this guy named Dr. Robert Epstein on, and they were talking about Google, right? Which interested the fuck out of me. So, and we all know this about Google, right? Like we all know that Google is just a hive mind of information, and you know they're mining your data, blah, blah, blah. But he said something that just kind of blew my mind a little bit. He was talking about the profiles that Google creates. So, like, for example, people like me and you who have lived pretty much our entire lives with the internet, right? Give or take. So, for me, I remember when we first got internet, I was probably 11 or 12, right? And I mainly watch YouTube videos, right? That you have an entire catalog and profile on Google. Yeah. Where, like, they know from that age to now where you're at, and they have been tracking that data ever since. And that blew my mind, because I knew they were tracking me, but I didn't think like so distantly that like, oh, yo.
Well, you see now when you download apps, or like the newest iPhone update, it'll say ask app not to track. And I was like, well, yeah, no, don't track. But I know they're still tracking me. Like this thing pinpoints now. Like I just got on my Nest cameras at home. It's like so-and-so's in your living room. Blah, blah, blah. Like they have access to see when I'm pooping in my house right now, you know?
So he was talking about how Alexa, this guy was talking about how Alexa, Windows, and I'm trying to think of the other, Microsoft, Google, and Alexa. Any kind of technology from them is constantly on record. Like they've had people sue people in court for the documents, and like they're like, yeah, we actually do have all these recordings of you when you didn't know your Alexa was listening in on you. And they've even went as far as saying that you can like pull your battery out of a Google or Microsoft phone and it's still listening. Because he was talking about how if you ever noticed how because of like the software that we have, if you ever just keep your phone off all day and the battery's still drained, like why is that? That's because in the background the software is running. Yeah. And so he was talking about how Apple per se might not necessarily be Apple products are still listening to you, but they're not selling your data. They're using your data, right, for them, but like they're not outwardly.
That's how they're updating software and creating new software and firmware updates and everything else they need.
Yeah. So they were saying that basically Apple, where they're mining your data for themselves, Google and Microsoft are mining your data and selling it to the highest bidder all the time. So they were talking about how you're getting those pushed ads on Google and Microsoft phones.
Well, and that's exactly what businesses do to be at the top of their page. If you search treatment center in Maumee, Ohio right now, go look who pops up first. Detox in Toledo, Ohio, look who pops up first. It's all about who the highest bidder is and who wants at the top. And then what secondary puts them at the top is Google reviews. So who are you going to get to review? And then what they do is they look at the geofence. So if you get too many people leaving reviews in a certain area, so say you have too many people at treatment center A, we'll just say on Indian Wood Circle, if they have too many people within I think it's an hour point, leave reviews on the same Wi-Fi or in the same geofence area, Google will say, denied, you can't leave Google reviews for 10 days. But you want to get your Google reviews up and you want to be the highest bidder to have your treatment center be at the top. So when someone, say I'm addicted and I want to find a treatment center in Maumee, Ohio, that's how you pop up at the A list. Outbid the person that's right next door. Yeah, That's all Google does. They're just a cash cow.
So he was talking also about, and this is obvious, but it was just really interesting too. He was talking about how if you type in to Google and you type in G, there's no wonder when you go to Google something and you type in G, it's Google, Gmail, and 5 other Google related things that pop up first in the search engine before anything else that they're pushing towards you. And so here we go. Just typed in Google. I went to Google and typed in G. Google, Gmail, Google Translate, Google Classroom, Google Maps, Google Docs, Google Earth, Google Flights. Which, when it comes to there's a lot of G things. So, why am I getting all Google stuff for these search engine results, right? And man, I mean, there's a big push in that whole social media world that we were talking about. Where I've seen it a lot on TikTok, where it's create the most sexualized, cringiest content you can to go viral. And that's for men and women, right? Just the most likes I got on TikTok is showing my girlfriend's ass. And I knew it. So I had this competition back in the pre-days of TikTok with Trea and with Keith. We were who's going to go TikTok famous first, right? And it was definitely Trea because I gave up. But during
shout out Trea.
Yeah, shout out to you, Trea. But during this whole thing we were doing, I was like, what I'm going to do? I'm going to show my girlfriend's ass. And it worked, bro. I got 800 likes. And I was just like, you guys aren't beating that.
Not going to happen.
But what's been happening on TikTok is people are just oversharing all these cringy moments. And it's how can I out trauma the other person? And there's a big push for people to go viral with everything they do on social media now.
Yeah, they're let me share about when my uncle touched me when I was 3. And you're okay, we didn't need that.
Yeah, man, because here's the thing, there's some things that went on in my life that even though I have this podcast, I'm not sure if I would be willing to talk about. Or put out there. And I put a lot out of there. Probably 90% of the stuff that I say is the truth and the other 10% is satire. But there's in that percentage somewhere, there's some things that I wouldn't be comfortable sharing on a TikTok or sharing on social media.
Or put everything out there.
Yeah, man. So, it's just...
Everyone just wants to get famous.
So, which is another weird thing, right? We talked about Jake Paul and Logan Paul, right? And I
believe you compared me to Jake Paul.
I know.
Wow.
You have these social media influencers. I think Jake and Logan got famous off of Vine or maybe YouTube.
I think it was YouTube. It was kids videos on YouTube, wasn't it?
Yeah, dude. They started with a YouTube following, maybe went to Vine or whatever the case was. But these people, social media influencers is a legit job position now. Like, they're pulling millions of dollars in. Like, there's kids, and I've talked about this on the podcast, but it just blows my mind because there's kids out there making more than CEOs.
Yeah, there's these kids. Have you ever seen those kids videos that, like, all they do unboxing videos of kids' toys, and they have 15 million views on YouTube.
Yeah, man.
And the guy unboxing, like, the 15-year-old kid unboxing the toy, like a Spider-Man toy, drives a Lambo.
Yeah.
And you're like, what the fuck? And these kids sit there and they just watch it on replay on YouTube.
And
my niece and nephew sit there and watch the same video over and over. Like, I have in my YouTube, it's like Chad and V or something. I don't know. I was looking at my YouTube history the other day.
Shout out to that guy.
Yeah. Shout out Google, who's tracking my YouTube videos. That is not even me. So I've got like spy ninjas and all this. I went and looked at his YouTube followers the other day. Yeah, this guy. He has 2.9 million views on some of these videos. I'm like, I wonder how many of those are just kids falling asleep watching these videos. But then I looked him up, and he's worth like $15 million. And I'm like, well, wait, what? You're the same age as me.
And my time has passed. No one's watching a guy with neck tattoos and a shitty beard do toy unboxing videos. You know what I mean? Right. That's a very niche YouTube market to get into. Hey, kids. Like, no one's going to believe me if I try to do that.
No, they're going to come out there and be like, Mom, this man with the neck tattoo scaring me.
Yeah, dude. My time is gone. I can't get into that anymore, right?
And
like,
now all the videos HD. The police will look at that police report.
Dude, I've had a podcast now for a year and a half, and you know what makes me so mad, dude, is that now everyone and their mom has a podcast. So like now I've become emified into having a podcast. They're like, oh, you got a podcast? Yeah, I got a fucking podcast. I've had it for a while now, and I'm still doing terrible at it, okay?
It's the worst goddamn podcast ever.
Yeah,
I started
dude.
it myself.
Yeah, dude, they're just popping up out of nowhere, dude, and they're guys just like me, and they're talking about business, and they work for a construction company. I get it, man. Okay, I had the same vision, just a little bit before you, and you know, I mean, it's just it's really a crazy world that we live in nowadays. Because I mean, I think that. The more connected that we're getting to social media, the further away that we pull from conversations that we're having right now.
Mm-hmm. That's exactly it. Sorry, let me send this message.
No, go ahead, send it. I'm gonna check my phone real quick, see if I'm. Oh, real quick. Real quick, Brian Herrick wanted me to say that Cody smokes crack with Todd Crandall.
Wow, Brian. And I was going to patch you in for this. Never mind.
So,
actually, speaking of Brian Herrick would like to have a nice hog roast next Wednesday featuring Todd Crandall's pig.
Really?
Yeah.
You guys bought the pig?
No, he's going to acquire this pig with John Kendrick, and they're going to do a nice marinade.
They're what?
They're going to do a nice marinade.
Oh, I hope it's like lemon garlicky.
I don't know.
I hope it's like barbecue mesquite.
Barbecue mesquite. That would be it.
I feel like there's anyone to do a nice pig roast, it would be Brian Herrick.
It would be.
He'd flay
it up with those nice knives that he makes.
Yeah,
for sure.
He's got a good beard for it.
He does.
I feel comfortable with him cooking any kind of meat.
Oh yeah.
He could say, I'm cooking giraffe tonight, and I'd be like, I'll be there.
Yeah, done. Say less. Yeah. He's just a manly man. Okay, you see him and you're like, you definitely make knives. Yeah, he's making chainmail. You know, you're just like, oh, the apocalypse is coming. Brian Herrick's house.
So this Christmas he came over and gave me the knife, and I'm like, yo, you made this? And it was like me, him, and Jordan, and I was so astounded because, like, dude, those are like, when we're talking about social media, like, those are some of the things that like we've gotten away from. One of the things that I like about her is she, like, okay, listen, dude, she grabbed me by the balls, bro. I've never been like intellectually attracted to someone, and I've also never been like mentally stimulated by someone. Mm-hmm. And bro, our first date, she takes me back to her crib, and she's like, take a seat. She pulls up her piano. She has a piano, dog.
Ooh.
And she just starts playing the piano and singing.
Like Beethoven's Fifth Symphony.
Dude, she just starts playing piano and singing. And I'm like, what the fuck, dude? Like, but like, things that Brian knows how to do, like making those knives, doing those kind of things, like people have lost touch with that kind of shit, man.
Yeah, Brian dropped this bomb on me yesterday. He's like, oh yeah, I know how to glass blow. I'm like, what do you not know how to do?
That's what I'm saying, dude.
I'm like, okay, what are you just gonna like, what's next you're gonna drop bomb on me?
Why doesn't Brian have a YouTube channel?
Exactly.
Come
on, Brian. Start a YouTube channel.
Yeah, dude, start a fucking YouTube channel, Brian. You blow glass, dude. I would watch that.
He's the one I wish that taught me how to be a man.
Yeah.
Balance a checkbook, change the oil on a car.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah. Come on, Brian. That's your YouTube channel. How to be a man. Do these things in life.
Dude, yeah, dude.
Full of wisdom and knowledge.
Those are the kind of shit that like the kids or people our age are like missing out on, man. They're rotting away on their phone. They're on Instagram. They're on TikTok. They're on Facebook. They're on social media, and like they don't know how to garden. They don't, bro. I had a fucking blast gardening, bro.
Yeah.
Okay. We got a raised garden bed out there. We grew fucking tomatoes and green peppers and green beans and a pumpkin this year. You know what I mean? It was fun, man. It was fun. You know what I like doing as an old man? I like mowing my lawn now.
Dude, it's the best.
It's so good.
Best.
It's so good.
It's something to look forward to. You're like, all right, I'm going to go out there. It's relaxing. You turn the mower on, you don't have to hear nobody.
Oh, yeah. You get a nice little tan, you know.
You take pride in it. It's something you can take pride in. Yeah, it's something that adds value to your life. Get
the nice white lines through it. And all these things, man, like I feel like people are losing touch with, man, because they're just so addicted to their phones. Because like no one wants to talk about how addiction isn't just drugs and alcohol. Like, and everyone knows it. Everyone say, oh, well, you know, food's an addiction. This is an addiction. People say that really easily, but don't see how controlled they are. Like, how I know I'm controlled by this breeze is the same way I was controlled by heroin, right? And it's,
you can't go without it.
And it's just, bro, you remember that feeling when you first went to a treatment center and they're like, yeah, we're going to need your phone.
You were like, what? Can I send 20 more messages before?
You're like, really? My phone? They're like, yeah, you can't have it while you're here. And you're like, are you fucking kidding me?
You're like, but I have Facebook and I have Snapchat. I got to message this girl that I've been talking to that really knows I'm using, but she needs to bring me cigarettes.
Like, dude, Michael Jordan punching Steve Kerr in the mouth because he wanted to win so bad is an addiction, okay? Like, Michael Jordan had an addiction to winning. He punched someone in the mouth because Steve Kerr sucked so bad. He was like, you got to get your shit together, bro. That's an addiction, man. Like, all these things that we're talking about right now have something to do with addiction. And I honestly, bro, she looked at me one night and she's like, you're addicted to your phone. And I'm like, I know I am, and I'm going to stop tomorrow.
Like, give me 12 hours.
I promise I'm going to do better at it. Yeah. And then, you know, the next day I'm going right back into it, man. So I want to thank you for coming on the podcast, man.
Oh, thank you for having me, man. I'm glad we finally got to do this.
Yeah, I had a fucking blast, man. I'm so glad and grateful that you came.
I feel like we could keep talking for hours.
Yes, but I need to go to bed.
Yeah, exactly.
And so do you.
It's rolling on 8 o'clock.
Oh yeah, man, it's getting kind of late, man.
Yeah. Oh man, the street lights are on. It's past curfew.
The highways are getting a little less traffic. I better get home.
Oh yeah, I better beat the rush.
I appreciate you for coming so much, man. I meant what I said, man. You dude. Wherever your path's going, dude, I love where it's going, dude. You deserve everything that's coming to you, and I
appreciate you, man. You're one of the most humble and genuine people I know, man. And I hope we continue to stay in touch, even though we're not working together.
We will,
and we'll have to do a podcast again in the future.
We definitely will. You want to shout out any of your socials?
No, I don't want to shout out that Twitter handle, but I will shout out Breeze Pros.
Yes.
Shout out Breeze Pros for keeping me active and my nicotine addiction craved every day.
Breeze, sponsor us, man.
Please sponsor us. Save me money every month.
The worst podcast in the world. I will literally take you guys to the next level. All of my people in recovery and drug addict friends will buy your products. When's the last time you ever seen a Breeze commercial? Okay, you will get a free. Dude, I literally do podcasts already sponsoring you, and I get no fucking money. Send some money to the podcast, Breeze,
please.
We could come up with we could come up with an AgroLabs podcast line, okay? That thing will taste minty, fresh. It'll taste something good.
I'll send you my Cash App.
Yeah, dude, you can literally take all my money right now. I will pay you to be my sponsor. I will pay you to be my sponsor. How does that work? Is that sponsorship? I don't know. But thank you guys for listening to the worst podcast in the world. You can go ahead and grab some merch up on Redbubble. I'm actually going to be coming out with a new t-shirt here pretty soon. So go ahead and check that out. You can find us on AgroLabs Fam on Redbubble. You can find us on Instagram at the AgroLabs, and you can find us on Twitter at AgroLabsCast. Make sure you hit up Cody. If you're in recovery, give him a nice little chit chat. He's a great guy to talk to. Follow the podcast, you fucking idiot. It's the worst podcast in the world, and we're out.